Dreadstalkers, will you proc? For the love of God. There's no way they're stopping DPS. There's no way. Oh, you suck so badly. Honestly, man. Ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? I hear you cry. It's time to dust off Edge Slice. That's right. We are back to getting all these alts ready, and it's been some of the biggest fun I've had in World of Warcraft in a long time. I've got no commitments to raiding or anything right now, and I'm pretty happy about that. I want to talk about the guild a little bit and what's going to be happening there, because I know many of you are interested. But I just literally have been rolling the dice on what I want to play, and after our boy Nups was playing some Demonology the other day, I was like, I want to play some Demonology, man. I want to play it out. Why? I've always leveled my Warlocks as Demonology. I think they're a ton of fun. And they have their problems. They have their problems, that's for sure. But they're not terrible. They just, I don't know, they feel like one of those specs that got left behind by Blizz at some point, and they just kind of like, you know, Demonology's a thing. As you can see, we're slamming, though. We're absolutely slamming. So a big piece of feedback we've had recently is, what are you thinking about when you're doing dungeons and things like that? Like, certainly in Mythic Plus, which we're going to be doing as well during our Basics series, which is coming up. We're just going straight away. Okay. The question I have right now. Okay, let's start with that then. When do I spawn my Tyrant? Because it's based on how many demons I have out. I'm going to spawn it now. Mainly because these bosses tend not to live very long in... This is obviously normal mode because we're leveling this guy up. He's currently level 53. So he's okay, but he's not huge by any means. So I'm always wondering, when do we spawn the Tyrant and get that big boy working? Dreadstalkers, will you proc? For the love of God. I swear to you, Dreadstalkers, I hate you so much. I really do. I'm going to go through the talents I have in a second here. And I imagine for most of you watching this, you have absolutely no idea how Demonology works because a lot of people do not play the spec at all. These are the talents I've gone with. This is like a leveling dungeon-ish build. But essentially, I'll make more sense of that in a second. Let's talk about Demonology a little bit. What is it about? It's about demons, obviously. It's the demon-focused spec. And the idea is that we're using our soul shards, which we're generating. I should remember that I just picked up Scouring Tithe just before I came in here. And our job is to get as many demons out as possible. So you have some demons in the talent tree, which you can add, like a Bile Fiend or Bile Scourge Bombers. These are extra demons, but essentially they all cost soul shards. And the more demons we have out, like the damage doesn't really come from ourselves, mainly. It comes from how many demons we spawn. So what we want to do as a general rule of Demonology is just spawn as many demons as we humanly can, and then build our talents around either having extra demons to use, or, as another situation would be, make our demons stronger. And summon make more soul shards in order to create more demons. Are you going for that over there? Cool. So what do I have here? Well, I have this proc that occurs. You can see it here with the little outline around here. This means I can fire off the wonderful Demon Bolt. And the Demon Bolt generates me extra soul shards and makes Demon Bolt instant cast. Kind of like a Fire Mage Pyro for the most part. And that gives me the option. Let's move away from these ads. I kind of think I'm going to spawn my Tyrant here, purely because I'll have it back. Oh, the Warlock, why would you do that? Now, the Tyrant's interesting. So this talent, Demonic Consumption, is kind of the de facto choice. For anybody who's a seasoned Demonology Warlock, you will understand that this was, I believe it was an Azerite trait that used to exist. But basically, what it does is it sucks out the power of your current demons. Let's read it. The Demonic Commander now drains 15% life from the Demon's servants to empower himself. So, Demonic Tyrant is kind of, unfortunately, the make or break of this spec. Your big damage is going to be based around your Tyrant, and that sucks, because you want the rest of the spec to feel good, and it just doesn't for the lot of the time. As sad as that is, it just kind of doesn't, because it's all about, like, so much of your damage is going to be baked into your Tyrant. You can see here, even though I fired it off kind of randomly, it still does 20% of my damage. And you have this choice to make. Like I said in the first boss, it's like, well, when am I going to actually spawn my Tyrant? Like, because you have to decide, am I going to spawn a ton of demons? So, as you can see here, I have Hand of Gul'dan, which you're going to see me fill a lot with. So, if I have 3 soul shards, I could drop a full Hand of Gul'dan that will spawn 3 imps. So each of those 3 imps is going to contribute to that tyrant. As baseline, without talents or anything, I can spawn these little dogs. And these little dogs are two extra demons on top of that. Right, and of course we have our Felguard as well. That's another demon. So we're trying to like generate a lot of Hand of Gul'dans essentially to spawn a ton of imps, which will then translate into more demons just for our tyrants to kind of suck up and have fun with. That's basically the situation there with our big cooldown. Now, what about AoE? AoE is really weird. Now, I've been playing this for about an hour or so. I have played Demonology a lot in the past, obviously, but we have a spell called Implosion. I can use it here now. So what's going to kill my imps? Watch. Whee! It does a lot of burst damage. You can see it on there. But I'm left without imps to do damage. So it's not... Although you get a lot of upfront damage, you know, that appears. You do get a lot of upfront damage. You're kind of like, well... Let's interrupt this. Yes, Warlocks can interrupt. I don't know why people don't think they can. But it's a case of trying to manage... You have to understand the trade-off of using Implosion. And I've kind of found that unless it's like a pack with really low health and then there's like a gap between them, I haven't felt much need to fire off Implosion. So our AoE is kind of lackluster. Like, we have Fellstorm, right? So once we get that Felguard in there, we can Fellstorm. And I have this Command Demon talent, which means I can Fellstorm again, and I can make him stronger, so he does like a nice little bit of burst AoE. We also get Bile Scourge Bombers instead of this Command Demon ability, Demonic Strength, I believe it's called. You can get that as well, which spawns a little bunch of bats, which will essentially just fly into the target and kamikaze and kill themselves. Either or seems pretty good. One's got a lower cooldown, you know, it's nothing major anyway. Let's put it that way. But I've generally found, like, in dungeons, just not wasting the imps with Implosion, but in fact keeping them up from pack to pack to pack has been the way to go. Now, the problem I have is, and you're probably seeing this, is although you have this talent build and all this kind of stuff, you're not doing that much. Like, I don't feel, although I'm spawning the demon army, and you can see the demon army around me, although I am spawning this demon army, like, it's basically me shadow bolting and Hand of Gul'dan. That's pretty much it. And other than that, I'm not doing too much. So let's see where we can get a good tyrant here. I would like some Demon Bolt procs, because that means I get a lot of soul shards very quickly. Which means I could translate that into a lot of demons very quickly. Sometimes that just doesn't happen. Alright, so we've got one here. Let's go for, like... See, the boss is already at 50%, and I've not spawned my tyrant yet. So I'm going to spawn him now. I'm going to use my Demonic Strength to AoE down those demons with the Fellstorm. Fellstalkers didn't proc again. So you can see the damage start climbing, although it was pretty late in the game to actually get that going. But once that tyrant is out, he starts absolutely blasting. But I don't feel like it. I just feel like I'm ramping up. You can see how much we caught up there. I'm constantly in this state of ramp, of... very reliant. I think that is the main gripe I have with this spec played normally. There is some scam you could do with this, with HP and whatnot. But we're ignoring that for now, because we're still leveling this guy. But I do feel like you're constantly in a state of ramp. And the worst part about Demonology, at least from my extra play that I've done, like I say, I've been playing for a few hours now, is just... sometimes it just doesn't proc when you want it to proc. And that sucks. Let's interrupt that. It just doesn't proc when you want it to proc. And that smells. So this is about to die, so I'm not going to use my Command Strength here, because I imagine we're going straight into this next pull. Yep, we did. Okay, let's get in on the Corpse Collector, and let's start Fellstorming that. I'm going to AoE stun here, because no one else seems to be interrupting, which is ironic that the Warlock is the interrupter. I have a talent that makes my Dreadstalkers instant cast, and it just never procs. It's a good... See, it's proc now, while they're on like a 16-second cooldown, right? Oh, it fucking sucks. It really does. It drives me mad. We actually have a good set of procs here. So I'm going to Scouring Tithe, and then I'm going to utilize this other proc. I'm going to get another Tyrant out here, because we have instant cast Dreadstalkers as well. My Tyrant's not got much to work with, but I want it back off cooldown for the boss anyway, so... Not the end of the world, right? I mean, we might as well use it. Like I said in my Mythic Plus play, sometimes you're, like, waiting for the ideal... Look at all my demons. Like, it's so cool visually. It is very cool visually to have this happening, but... You kind of wish it would, do do a bit more. Let's put it that way. I'm saving my spear for the surgeon, by the way. Something I noticed in the last few dungeons I've done on these leveling characters has been people just saving everything for the surgeon and then going into a big sort of having cooldowns available for the last boss. It actually works out kind of well. Not something I'd ever seen in Mythic Plus, honestly. It might even be the meta now to do that. Another talent I have here, you'll see this little... that's not going to hit, is it? It is. I have this little stick. See, it's coming off cooldown here. This is Soul Strike. Possibly one of the worst spells in the game. It's so lazy, Blizz. It really is. All it does is it makes my demon sort of whack the target and it gives me a soul shard. Translates into more demons. So, it's just a point you press off cooldown, right? There's like very little to explain about how that works other than it does that. I'm going to put my demon down here for that exact reason. In case I get the... I'm getting whirlwind these. In case I get the target, and that way I can sort of whoop across and not have to worry about hitting myself with the throw flesh. Always nice getting that down in good early working order, in my opinion. This is going to die. I'm going to put my demonic teleport down here. That's going to be for the Surgeon boss, in case I have to direct the chain. So getting that done nice and early. So one of the cool things, actually, it's just one of those quality of life things that you don't think about when you play other specs, is I don't have to worry on a Warlock about being, like, in a weird position on Surgeon. I know it's, like, a really mundane thing, but I actually quite like it. Usually, like, on any character I play, I'm kind of, like, claustrophobically stuck together with what's happening. But with a Warlock, you don't have to do that. Like, I imagine when I get to some Mage gameplay, which maybe I'll do today, actually. I haven't played Mage in ages. We'll get around with that. But overall, it's a spec that needs something else. It needs one more thing to make it really crispy. One thing I thought about was even a visual play, but it does need some more gameplay stuff. Because the constant back and forth filler, let's, as soon as this Fellstorm is over, we'll cast another Fellstorm. And we'll keep that AoE going. All that AoE you're seeing and cleave is just coming from my Felguard, which is fine. That is the nature of the spec. Like, I have no issue with that. I think Fellstorm is a great spell, so no issues with me. Right, when it comes to a boss like this then, as I said, I'm going to use the spear and stuff. So I'm actually not going to use many cooldowns here. I'm certainly not going to use the Tyrant because we're going to use it immediately after on the next boss. But what I am going to do is kind of chill. And just spawn as many demons as possible so I can just redirect them. And that's why we have that. That worked out kind of well. Someone blocked it. Did I block it? I've had this before. No, I think it was Tuna. It was our boy Tuna. Well, they're going to kill that, so... There's no way they're stopping DPS. There's no way. I'm actually chilling here. All I want to do is spawn as many demons as possible in order to attack the boss. So we'll save our demon strength here. Same rules apply. I'm going to have to get claustrophobic now because my portal's back. Cool. Never mind, it's not on me anyway. There we go. Okay, so let's command the demon. Fire off these. Let's use the javelin. And then we can blast this down. As you can see, very simple plan. Not exactly a big brain plan, but it works for what we're doing in the dungeon. And this means we'll go into the last boss with maximum cooldowns. No bloodlust, though. Now comes the biggest thing with Demonology that's bugged me, and I kind of maybe will swap over to Destruction for a bit after this. Just for leveling purposes, I'm really hoping now, because my demons are going to disappear, because we've got this Downtime. Downtime is super rough on Demonology. Okay, we got Dreadstalkers out straight away. Cool. Oh, it just ran out. That's unfortunate. Okay. Let's see if we can get a couple more procs. Let's move away from this. I might go... I mean, this boss is relatively long, so I could probably go after the first Comet Storm. See if we get... Here's the Comet Storm. Let's say my Soul Strike. Use my instant cast procs wherever possible. Alright, now we're ramping. Hand of Ghouldown into Dreadstalkers. Oh, you suck so badly! Honestly, man. God, that's annoying. And the boss is going to die. And I've got no demons ready. This is, like, ultimate corruption for a Demo Warlock. Yeah, look at that damage. Fucking pain in the ass, man. Should have spawned it. Don't freeze me! Don't freeze me, daddy! Well, here's the worst demon. It's not even going to spawn. I saved it and saved it. We got some loot. That's good. It's a very fun spec, though. It just, if it had one more thing, and obviously if I get Scouring Tithe working correctly, if I can get one more thing, Blizz, that involves demons, I would like to, like, transfer and swap between my demons sometimes. That would be really cool. There's a ton of ideas they could do with this. Like demonic possession, so I could become the Felguard temporarily, gain access to a couple abilities while other things are on cooldown, and you can leave your Warlock behind. That would be really interesting. Something along those lines, or even just going back to the old Metamorphosis. That would be sweet too, but I don't think we're going to see it. Anyway, I'm going to roll the dice and play something else, because that's what mood I'm in right now. That is what mood I'm in. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Some Demonology, for those of you who never see any of it. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.